Eden Hazard was once considered the best player in the world. He was the complete package with pace, power, trickery, passing range, an eye for goal, and of course, those iconic stepovers. These days, though, he can't even get into Real Madrid's team, so what happened to Eden Hazard? And more importantly, where did it go wrong? It all started back in 2012 when Hazard was playing for Chelsea. It was the Champions League quarterfinal, and Chelsea were taking on the current holders of the trophy, Barcelona. The tie was delicately poised at 1-1 from the first leg, and Barcelona were on top in the second leg, too, thanks to a Lionel Messi penalty. But just before halftime, Hazard picked up the ball inside his own half and embarked on a mazy run. He skipped past 3 Barcelona players like they were even there and finished past Victor Valdez with a ridiculous amount of backspin on it. You had to feel sorry for poor old Javi Martinez, who was left flat on his face after being nutmegged by Hazard. But this goal is what announced Hazard to the world stage and made him a superstar. Hazard went on to win the Europa League with Chelsea in 2013, and then the Premier League title in 2015. Hazard won the PFA Player of the Year and the Football Writers Player of the Year award that season, and he was finally realizing his potential. Unfortunately, the club's next few seasons would be rather disappointing, and their failure to win any trophies meant that Hazard eventually grew bored and wanted to leave. In May 2019, he said goodbye to Chelsea and made a dream move to Real Madrid. Hazard said that it was his dream to play for Real Madrid since he was a kid, but in hindsight, it seems like this is where things started to take a turn. See, Hazard had been suffering with a nagging ankle injury for some time, but he managed to play through the pain and helped Chelsea win the Europa League again in 2019. However, this clearly took its toll because ever since moving to Madrid, Hazard has struggled to replicate his best form. He only played 22 times in his debut season due to injury, and although he did manage to score against Granada in the Copa del Rey final to help Real Madrid win the trophy, he didn't really make much of an impact in the game itself. The 2020-21 season didn't get off to a good start either. Hazard tested positive for coronavirus along with several other Real Madrid players, and this affected his fitness, meaning that he wasn't match fit for the start of the campaign. His lack of form led to speculation in the Spanish press that Hazard could be about to leave Madrid after just one season. But this is where things took a very dark turn. Indeed, on September 29, 2020, while playing against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, Hazard came off the bench and looked promising. However, in the 64th minute, he pulled up with a thigh problem and immediately hit the deck. This injury would keep him out for almost 2 months, and as he was making his way back into the team, he tested positive for COVID-19 yet again. Upon his return from this setback, he suffered another setback. This time it was a hamstring injury which kept him sidelined for another 2 months. Not only had Hazard completely fallen out of favor with Zinedine Zidane, but he was now well out of the team. In fact, Hazard didn't even make the squad for the majority of the season. When he did play, though, he was deployed on the left wing instead of his preferred position as an attacking midfielder. Real Madrid were able to retain the La Liga title, but Hazard was not part of these celebrations. To make matters worse, Hazard's salary became a huge problem for Real Madrid. He is currently the club's top earner on £400,000 per week, according to the Daily Mail, but he is far from the player that they thought they were signing. On top of this, Hazard also got into trouble for breaking coronavirus protocols during the lockdown. He was spotted by the police driving without the required documentation. He was then fined £1,125 and given a 4-point penalty on his license. In December 2020, Hazard spoke about his difficult season and admitted that he was unhappy. He said, "I am not happy, that's for sure. I want to play more, and I am not doing so. When you play less, you feel worse. I have to work harder to get my place back. I am not satisfied with my level since I arrived here. It's true that I haven't been very lucky with injuries since I've been here." Throughout his difficult spell at Real Madrid, Hazard's weight has also come under scrutiny. He was pictured on holiday looking very overweight, which led to speculation that he wasn't taking care of his body properly. At the start of the 2021-22 season, Hazard seemed to be getting back to his best. He was starting games regularly and scored a stunning goal against Levante. Unfortunately, he suffered another injury setback and was sidelined for 2 months. Once again, this hampered his progress, and it seemed as though he would never rediscover his best form. Hazard has managed to get back into the team this season, but this is mostly down to the fact that Real Madrid are struggling for form. He has yet to score or assist a goal this term, and has completed 90 minutes just once in La Liga. Hazard spoke about his future at the club and revealed that he still dreams of success at the Bernabeu. He said, "My dream is to play for Real Madrid. I know I can do more. I have a contract, and I will do my best for this shirt." Sadly, though, it looks like Hazard may have already played his last game for Real Madrid. And it's a real shame, because if he had fulfilled his potential, he would have gone down as one of the greats. Instead, he will always be remembered for what could have been. When it comes to the beautiful game, though, you have to be at your best every single week, and Hazard simply hasn't been able to do this throughout his time at Real Madrid. So where did it all go wrong for Eden Hazard? Well, it's hard to say. Firstly, Hazard had a wonderful spell at Chelsea, and he was arguably the best player in the Premier League at his peak. But he probably left the club too soon, and perhaps he could have won more trophies if he had stayed a bit longer. That being said, though Hazard did everything he could at Chelsea, and there wasn't really anywhere else for him to go, his only option was to leave England if he wanted to play for Real Madrid. In hindsight, maybe he should have joined another team like Bayern Munich or PSG. These clubs were reportedly interested in signing Hazard, but he chose to join Real Madrid because it was his dream to play for them. Unfortunately, though things didn't work out, Hazard was also very unfortunate, with injuries throughout his time in Spain. This was especially true during the 2020-21 campaign. The timing of his injuries meant that he was never able to get back into the team, and this really stunted his progress. Another reason for his decline in form was Hazard's drastic drop in playing time. Before joining Real Madrid, he was playing over 50 games per season regularly. At Madrid, though, his minutes per game decreased drastically. He just wasn't playing enough football. Hazard's weight has also come under scrutiny during his time at Madrid. Let's not beat around the bush here, he does appear to be overweight in certain pictures. Now, this isn't necessarily his fault. Hazard has spoken out against the media for doctoring pictures to make him look bigger than he actually is. That being said, though, Hazard needs to be a professional and make sure that he stays in top condition. After all, he is one of the highest paid players in the world. So there we have it. These are the reasons why Eden Hazard has fallen from grace. It's a real shame, because he is one of the most naturally gifted players that we've seen in recent times. But it looks like he will never realize his full potential. How fondly do you remember Eden Hazard? And how do you think he will be remembered by the football world? As always, you can tell us your thoughts in the comments down below. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.